For an energy-strapped country like South Africa, the Swedish example is certainly something many South Africans would hope we could emulate. In fact, just 1% of Sweden's rubbish ends up in landfills. Much of the rest goes to waste-to-energy plants that convert Sweden's trash into energy. I'm joined on the line by Fredrik Agerhem. He's going to speak to us a little bit more about CleanG. Fredrik, did I get that right?
Yes, that was nice.
Now, when we talk about CleanG, what exactly are we talking about?
Well, CleanG is a Swedish company that's based, its success is on the competences in the Stirling engine, and this is used both in gas production and the energy from gas, and also from utility-scale solar installations. So the Stirling engine was invented almost 200 years back by a Scotsman called Robert Stirling, and that's a heat engine. And what CleanG has done is that we have redefined and industrialized this Stirling engine into the modern world. And then in applications consider that is, for example, landfill sites, biogas, and also then what is very interesting for the South African market is our solar application.
Now, you know that in South Africa, where you're based, we're going through an energy crisis at the moment where we simply cannot keep up with the country's demands, and it's becoming glaringly obvious that coal-based energy is not going to be sustainable for the country. But I'm sure many people will say to you, Fredrik, perhaps this works in European countries. Is it realistic to hope that we can do the same thing in South Africa?
Well, yes. I think it's South Africa. The energy situation that you're having right now is it goes back. We also had an energy crisis, for example, in Sweden back in the 70s, where we were very dependent on the oil, and in the sharp increases in the oil price in the early 70s, our economy was sent into a tailspin, and we had to look for different solutions, like a plethora of solutions for this multifaceted problem of high energy costs. And what we were looking at was actually to try to find solutions in our country, domestic solutions. And we were looking at resources such as residuals from the forestry industry, branches, roots, and also from biogas from industries and from sewage. And we were looking at landfill sites and trying to transform the landfill sites into plants producing energy from the methane gas. What's also interesting is that what you were referring to earlier is the percentage of our landfills right now. We only put 1% of our waste from industries and from households onto our landfills. Back in the 70s, this percentage was much higher. It was about 70%. But we started off with the incineration of the waste, of household and industrial waste. And today we incinerated a higher level of waste, about 50%. The rest is recycled and reused in our society. And I think that what's interesting for South Africa is to look at the resources on the renewable side, such as solar power mainly, but also wind and wave energy, and also look into the fuel side, similar to maybe what we have done in Sweden and in other countries. But I think it's always that you find your local solution for your local problem. So it's important for the South African industry to find a solution for the South African problem. We would like to help, of course, with our history or our story, energy story. But I think it's very important for South Africa to find its ways on how to solve the situation that is currently here. This said, I think we also have to acknowledge that, and also me personally, I'm very impressed by the way that the renewable energy independent power producer program has been developing. in the last 4 years. And the bid windows 1 to 4 has been highly successful, and I think regarded as one of the best programs globally. And of course, I think that our solution with the concentrated solar power based on the dish and the Stirling engine would be very suitable for the South African market and for the South African conditions, considering that solar is a free resource and it's an amazing resource in this beautiful country. So I think South Africa has a lot to offer itself, and I think South Africa has embraced the principles that I think we have been successful using, of finding resources, localized resources, and to localize production, and that is why I'm here, and that is why CleanG is here, and we're looking forward to joining hands with South Africa and to be part of your solution for your situation, and increasing the industrialization of South Africa, and I think you're on your way. In a good way right now.
Frederick, your organization was recently part of a summit here in Cape Town, speaking about this issue amongst others. And as somebody working in South Africa and interacting with the issues that South Africans face in the energy sector day by day, do you remain optimistic and hopeful that our country will be able to turn it around? Because I'm sure that you know that many of the opinions on the South African energy sector at the moment are quite glum and quite depressing, really.
Yeah, no, but for sure, you have a situation, and you have to solve that situation. But there's coming from a country we had a similar situation back in the early 70s, as I was mentioning, and I think that it's important to learn from other problematic phases in maybe other countries, and also to stay focused and try to explore the plethora of solutions which are out there. And I believe that if you look at South Africa and how it's geared towards renewables, I think it's actually, that is really the way forward.